Okay. Hello, BookTube. Alan here. PoetryTube, rather. And I've been kind of putting this off for a while, and now I only have a few minutes to do it. I'm running late. Man, I'm off for a 3-week retreat. Got like 2 hours before I'm picked up. I'm ready to go and pack, but these questions are really good, and I've put some time into thinking about them. I'm going to talk about education versus experience, like book smarts versus street smarts, tradition versus, or like forms versus freebirds, things like that. Question 1, do you read and write poetry? Yes, I'm going to get to that a little bit more below, where I'm going to talk about, do MFA writing programs are they detrimental to writing? Or is it a good thing or a bad thing? I could argue either point. But that's my alma mater. Like as far as favorite poets go, or best poets, I take Shakespeare and Dante and Rumi like out of the equation. They're like up here. Talk about like the Mount Rushmore. That's another question, and I have a take on that too. I mean, are we keeping it American because it's Mount Rushmore, or I'll just answer the questions in order. How about that? But yeah, okay. Answer the question. My favorite poet then would probably be Yeats or Dylan Thomas or John Berryman. Studied him, or Emily Dickinson or Whitman. They're the two. They go on my Mount Rushmore. Maybe throw in Ezra Pound. I mean, these cantos are very hard to read. But, yeah, I mean, I like the confessional poets a lot, too. Sylvia Plath and Sexton. I might like as much or more than Plath. I like Dennis Johnson a lot. He just recently died. I met him at ASU. I love his Incognito Lounge, a book of poems. His sonnets he takes the sonnet form and explodes it, expands it, does things with it that are novel and new. So what question would I ask my favorite poet? What would I ask Yeats? I would ask him something about the Golden Dawn, and tell me some spooky Irish stories and myths. You know, there's a story that Norman Newbie, the poet at ASU, told me about, or he's the first one who told me, and it's true. It's about Yeats. He had this operation where he had, it kind of makes me nauseous thinking about it. He had monkey gonads medically transferred into himself, into his testicles, in order for increased virility. I don't know if it worked or not. He was married. I'm not getting into Yeats' biography, but anyway. Favorite poem, is this to read aloud or of all time, is a Villanelle by Elizabeth Bishop titled One Art, and I'll put a link below where I just did that for litmus. I read it. It's my favorite, one of my favorite all-time poems. Let's see. My problem is I don't write down the questions. I write down the answers. I have a bunch of books here I'd like to go through too, but I don't want to make this too long. What was question 5? I have Norman Newbie. This collection, Mercy Seat, won, was it 2002, the Penn Faulkner Award. It's a great book. I just don't say that because he was my mentor. Doobie's also in. I'm stuck in the 90s, kind of, as far as, not stuck, I take that, I'm not stuck in the 90s. In fact, this book, you can see it, is a good read. It was faced at Powell's yesterday. I bought some John Keats at Powell's yesterday, last night, to take with me on my retreat. If it's one, I'm ignorant about a lot of things in poetry, and one is the Romantics. I started to study Shelley once, but as far as like Wordsworth and that, I'm pretty ignorant. But let me just answer favorite poem to read it aloud. One would be After Sky X by Norman Newbie. After Sky X, Sky Z, in disbelief, agrees that this alphabet of mysteries was one day to reach him. He was said, in a foolish legend of weather, to be a husband of language, like sudden lightning, revealing the bare branches of a tree. A complacency of owls in that same tree climbs to a night sky, which is Z. The revolving eyes of these owls, like the changing areolas of a woman's breast, guttering now into eternity. Z establishes a rainbow of needs, which is the only reach in eternity. He is searching for Sky A, who, in a discretion of letters substituting for lovers, forgets the origin of rain in alphabets, forgets that Z is soon to forsake her, not for the brow points of rising skin encircling the dark nipples of her breasts, but, in the language of the deaf, for a signing of hands which begs that none of this be said. There's another, this is my little claim to fame. In Norman dedicated the poem of politics and art to me. Where is it? You think I know it by heart. Where is it? There's so many good poems in here. And I read The Homage to Philip K. Dick, Looking Up from Two Renaissance Paintings to the Massacre at Tiananmen Square, Radio Sky, just, Politics and Art, 239. Okay, see. The other poem, Fever, for Janine, that was his second wife, Janine Safford. But you can see that's dedicated to me. Is it? There's Janine. And it's on the back of this book, too, of Politics and Art. It's a great poem. It's also in this anthology that Mike turned me on to. Shout out to Mike. He's got a long channel name. But it appears in this book, this anthology, on not the dedication, just like on the back, it doesn't have my name on it. So that was kind of a bummer. Mike turned me on to this, too, I have to read. Questions. 6. I have Whitman, Dickinson, Yeats, Keats, Shelley. Was that the... Man, I'm sorry. I should be more organized, but I'm not. Did I mention Stephen Dobbins, Cemetery Nights? That was a great book. I'd like to reread that. Norman Newbie is a Norton poet. He's in the Norton anthologies. And this New American Poets of the 90s, it's got a lot of great poets in it. Rita Dove, Tess Gallagher, she was Raymond Carver's wife. Becky and Fritz Goldberg, I had workshops with her. Alberto Rios, too. Rodney Jones, so those are 90s. This is new. Keats is old, you know. I wanted to bring out Yeats. Nobody talks about Yeats. He's like my favorite. I'd be remiss if I wouldn't read something aloud of Yeats. I'll just turn to something. Pick one. Let's see. A coat. I made my song a coat, covered with embroideries of the old mythologies, from heel to throat. But the fools caught it, wore it in the world's eyes, as though they'd run it. Song, let them take it, for there's more enterprise in walking naked. Let me find one more. Okay, here's one that has some hidden symbolic symbols in it. Very interesting. Interesting rhyme scheme. See if we can pick it up. All things can tempt me. All things can tempt me from this craft of verse. One time it was a woman's face, or worse. The seeming needs of my fool-driven land. Now nothing but comes readier to the hand than this accustomed toil. When I was young, I had not given a penny for a song. Not the poet sing it with such airs that one believed he had a sword upstairs? Yet would be now, could I but have my wish, colder and dumber and deafer than a fish. I like the lines, did not the poet sing it with such airs that one believed he had a sword upstairs? Now in tarot, the suit of swords is equal to it corresponds with the element of air, things like that. One more, Yeats. Reconciliation. Some may have blamed you that you took away the verses that could move them on the day when the ears being deafened, the sight of the eyes blind with lightning. You went for me, and I could find nothing to make a song about but kings, helmets and swords and half-forgotten things that were like memories of you, but now well out, for the world lives as long ago. And while we're in our laughing, weeping fit, hurl helmets, crowns, and swords into the pit. But dear, cling close to me. Since you were gone, my barren thoughts have chilled me to the bone. Rhyming, question 8. In 1956, Newsweek published Robert Frost, his 4-time Pulitzer Prize winning poet, Robert Frost, tart dismissal of free verse. He said, I'd just as soon play tennis with the net down. So what he's referring to is writing poems in forms versus free verse. And I love forms. I like Villanelle's. One art is Villanelle. Dylan Thomas's poems like Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night is Villanelle. I like Sestina's. Elizabeth Bishop has a couple Sestinas. I think there's one in here. This is getting really long. And I'm up. Okay, that favorite poetic form 9. 10, humor and poetry, of course. I like Bukowski. I was, back in the day, in a small press magazine. He was an interesting guy. I've read his fiction. I like Old Al. Or is it Poor Al. That's a great poem. What elements contribute to the best poetry? Now, like Adrian went into this in detail very, very well, he did too. But I like novelty and newness, like Ezra Pound said, make it new elements. I don't know. What's the new talk about people complaining about Instagram poets? That famous woman, she was, they had a bunch of her books yesterday, Milk and Honey, I remember. I don't know her name, though. It's like Kumar but a lot of her books going for $16.95. But this one was $16.95 too. This is a library book, but this is the winner of the Whitman Award from 2017. I have this is a collection I haven't really read yet of Newbie's. It's old, probably 10 years or more. Newbie's got a new book out that won an award. It's from 2016, but that was the question I skipped over. Let me just leave with this, with the talk of the Instagram poets. I wonder if, like, poets like William Carlos Williams, if they would have been Instagram poets. I mean, he's famous for that poet. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain water beside the white chickens. The enjambment of that. My note on Newbie's book, it won the International Griffin Poetry Prize for his collection, The Quotations of Bone. That was in 2016. Okay, sorry I wasn't succinct in an order, but I've got to fly. I was going to go through a lot more. But yeah, I got to take some of these library books back. An hour to get going, so right on time. So, wish me well. I wish you well. What else? Thanks for the tag and the idea. I love poetry. I have journals I'd like to type up, and then I'd go through then print that up, and then go over the manuscript of that, retype it over. I'd like to send out, though, to Small Press again, University Presses this year, and I hope you guys do too. Okay, I edit this down. Thank you. Got show.